Howdy. I wanted to share some cloud pictures from recent times. Maybe that's from yesterday. Um I live about a year here now, and I noticed several very interesting local weather phenomena. One of these is that very often there is this kind of a hole in the clouds almost above us or in the vicinity, or sometimes it's bigger, sometimes it's smaller. And I think it has to do with something which is in the Earth's surface, something which has probably a positive polarity, a magnetic anomaly, a surface conductivity anomaly. I've been talking about those many times. And this picture is just one of these examples where you can basically see it with bare eyes. And yeah, it's maybe not that mind blowing or interesting or amazing just to see a picture with something like that. I just mark it still for those who cannot see, but there is something which makes the clouds disappear. And that's approximately above Outokumpu, where we have the copper mine, which I have been talking about many times as well. I have been also chopping wood, which was sometimes rather annoying because this birch has many branches, which makes it very hard. The wood is very hard. It's very hard to split because it won't. And there has been at one point, like, there's more. That's maybe a third left of the whole chunk. And right approximately in the middle of the tree, there is still bark. So I think this will burn rather long in the winter time when it's going to be much colder than now in the summer. So firewood is something good to have. So now let's check out some clouds. These are all pictures from today. Some of them I enhanced. This is just an original. And my point is just I wanted to show you how many different kinds of repetitive patterns can be seen if you just take a look. Like for most people, if they would watch the sky, there wouldn't be anything interesting. Yeah, there are just a few clouds, but there are so many repetitive patterns. Just alone in this picture, for example, we have these kind of lines which go like this, which is in a way a standing wave pattern, I would think. And here on this side, we have this kind of more filamentary kind of clouds. And this is just yet another cloud formation. And what do you think? What's the direction of those clouds are moving? Is it this direction or is it this direction? It is this direction. So they are moving forwards, basically head first. And these come after those. Which is in a way like a meteorite. There is this ball or plume of energy confined within those two clouds. Maybe they are one. We just see it like this, that there would be two. And it has a tail. In a way, if you would think about conventional meteorology, you would somehow think that you would have these clouds and the winds would carry something of these away. But it's not so. They are moving to the left and they just have a tail, but they are moving head first. And this is just something I have been watching the clouds and the sky today quite much. Of course, I was busy with doing stuff, chopping wood and things like that. But it's just amazing how many or how beautiful and how much stuff you can see if you just start to look a little bit closer. And we have again once again this kind of standing wave pattern here. And this kind of filamentary structure in here. Maybe here we can see even how the filament is twisting. Maybe. Could be. A twisting cloud filament. Maybe something like this is going on here as well. And streaks and all kinds of things. And of course the feathers from the bigger chunk of the jet stream. Like this one, we have all kinds of repetitive patterns here, neatly, like once again this kind of a standing wave, a plasma stability, so to say. And also do we have this kind of little chunks here and there where it seems that energy gets confined in a rather small spot. That's why there is a brighter spot. Now I have to, yeah, it's not this one. And here, at first glance, this doesn't look too interesting. But let's have a look at this region here. That's why I took the picture. That's another spot where every time when I go out of the house, I just watch there first. Because there is almost something, every time something going on. And this spot here has been at the same location for some time. And it has many features, which somehow indicates that there's something going on. And this is also approximately above Outokumpu, where we have this old copper mine. And there's another mine there where they are digging out some, is it talc in English? I have been there actually once within the facility on the roof because I was fixing the roof. Yeah, that's just amazing. Like if you compare to this other cloud here, that's totally different. And here we have this hole, which is also one of those places where let's say it like that. Somewhere here, behind the forest. I still try to figure out where exactly it could be. There is something. Quite often we see clouds rising here, just at this location where we have now this hole in the cloud. And if you think about electricity and you just switch the polarities, instead of a cloud rising, there could be something else rising, which could create a hole in the cloud because just of switching polarities. Yeah, there's like, today it was very interesting to watch the clouds, and that's basically straight up over my head. Yeah, and that's really majestic. Yeah, I tried it again to say this word. Majestic. Majestic? Yeah, maybe majestic. Yeah, that's really very amazing. And there's a big triangle and stuff. And all kinds of things. And this has been going on almost the whole day. I could have taken hundreds of pictures. I just took a few. Maybe that's one I should. Yeah, I didn't enhance that. So now let's enhance this. As doing my enhancement, you can see what I do to the pictures. I increase the contrast, put down to some degree the exposure, and also the brightness. Just playing around a little bit, seeing which could be useful, which is not. So that's basically everything or all I do to the pictures. Sometimes I take a screenshot of one and make some more enhancements, but the principle is the same, so there is no Photoshop or whatsoever included in any of the things I do. Nor are my videos edited, or they're just made very simple. And sometimes, like this here, for example, these features, they seemed to be more vertical than horizontal features in the clouds. In a way, like aurora are. They are much more vertical structures usually than horizontal. And that's yet another picture which doesn't seem to be very too interesting. But I noticed that there's the moon. That's the moon, and we have some lines beside the moon. Yeah, that's the moon. You can see even a crater there. Maybe. Yeah, let's have a look at the clouds, since there are some clouds around. We have once again some kind of repetitivity here, equally spaced features, feathers, and all kinds of things. This, I could increase or enhance all of these pictures because this is something I could watch for hours, days. And I think this was the thing which triggered me to take a picture. This feature here in the middle. I was thinking of trying to make a time lapse of that. But the thing is, if you cannot adjust the camera so it will jump every time when you take a picture, if you just make it randomly. And so I didn't. I just took a picture of that feature. And more jet stream features here with holes in clouds and maybe some kind of a double layer going on. This brighter place here could be some kind of a double layer with enhanced energy. And it's very amazing. Like, if you once start to understand that clouds are plasma and not just random occurrences which just happen to be there and get blown over or through the atmosphere by winds, which are just also basically random, it's very interesting to see them and look at them and watch them. And maybe you've noticed there is this line here. That's a human-made line. And I went to flight radar, in order to check it out if there's anything on flight radar. And this blue dot is my location, so it flew over my head, literally. And it took even a turn to do so. And it's Jake 17, United States US Air Force. Yeah, there's stuff going on, you know? And it flew all the way to the north and made a turn back to wherever it went. This is where I took my last screenshot. I didn't took too many because I got stuff to do. So, Jake 17. Boeing RC-135V rivet joint. An official website of the United States government. RC-135V or W rivet joint. Mission. The RC-135VW rivet joint reconnaissance aircraft supports theater and national level consumers with near real-time on-scene intelligence collection, analysis and dissemination capabilities. Features. The aircraft is an extensively modified C-135. The rivet joint's modifications are primarily related to its onboard sensor suite, which allows the mission crew to detect, identify, and geolocate signals throughout the electromagnetic spectrum. The mission crew can then forward gathered information in a variety of formats to a wide range of consumers via rivet joint's extensive communication suite. Consumers! A wide range of consumers. The interior seats more than 30 people, including the cockpit crew, electronic warfare officers, intelligence operators, and in-flight maintenance technicians. The rivet joint fleet was re-engined with CFM56 engines with an upgraded flight deck instrumentation and navigational systems to FAA ICAO standards. These standards include conversion from analog readouts to a digital glass cockpit configuration. All rivet joint's airframe mission systems modifications are overseen by L3 Communications, previously Raytheon, under the oversight of Air Force Materiel Command. But anyway, let's go back to the clouds. But this is just stuff you maybe notice when you watch the sky. In times like these, being in a place like this. Just random things. How they could make a turn just to come over our house. Funny. And look at that. I mean, look at that. I don't know what to tell you about this. It's just endlessly beautiful. Endlessly amazing. That's just amazing. And if the camera would be better, maybe the pictures also would be better, but I think that's just amazing. And later on, there has been very, very straight lines in the sky. Especially this one here. There are few mountain ranges on Earth which are very straight. And when I have been there at the plasma rock site some days ago, I tried to explain the person who has been there with me that Studying geology is studying vitrified weather or petrified. So now we have there a very straight line in the sky. And the quality of this picture is not as good as the other ones, but the angle is much broader in order to get more of the clouds into the picture. Yeah. And this, yeah, now I remember. This looked very interesting to have these kinds of, how to put it, opposite directed cloud formations in a way, in a similar, they have similarities between each other. Because there's this kind of a line down here, and then we have stuff going up, as we do here. Maybe there's even some twisting visible here in this lower, wider band. But let me show you, let me search quickly a straight mountain. For this, we go over to Google Earth. Yeah, I was actually about to make a video of that place here, Fontanon dal Toff, which is a tufa or tough spring in this. I think it's Italian Alps, which means very calcious rich water pours out of the mountain and the fountain grows all the time. And as it deposits the calcium onto the rock, it emits CO2. Which is very good. CO2 is plant food. Without CO2, the plants will suffocate. And if the plants are suffocating, we all suffocate. You want to hear a good joke? Nobody speak, nobody get choked, because as we breathe in and out, we release 400 times more CO2 and as when we breathe in. So when you speak, you are releasing very much CO2. So better be silent. Nobody speak, nobody get choked. Here, for example, we have a very straight mountain. And maybe it's easier visible like this. And if you watch it from this perspective, you could probably say that here we would have this thicker line on the bottom we just saw in the clouds, and here's the stuff going up, which is in a way a similar pattern as we just saw in the clouds. So I made just this kind of screenshot collage kind of thing. Here we would have the line, which would be this. Let me try again. Which would be this thing here. And here where we have these kinds of features are these kind of features. Yeah, maybe it's pareidolia, maybe it's just so. Weather can be studied when you're watching rock formations because it's vitrified. But anyway, I think I leave it here. Yeah. Interesting times we're living in. stay safe and remember to watch the sky because it can be very interesting from time to times and very important depending on where you live. Hailstorms or whatever, tornadoes or things, planes. There's like things going on wherever you look. Thanks.